Aloha everyone. I wanted to show you a nice new tool, student studying tool or teacher tool that we will be able to test for the next 90 days. That will take us to the end of the second quarter. It is something called Studymate Class. And what it is basically a nice way of creating activities such as flashcards and quizzes by creating 3 different items: a fact, a term definition, and a quiz. And what you can do is, if you have some time, you can go into studymate.com and you can actually look through some of the different samples. But just by creating those 3 items, you can create different types of study items for your students. You can do a challenge, which is kind of like Jeopardy, and you have all these other ones that you've seen before. But you don't create these. The students create. These become generated based on your fact, your definition, and your quiz that you create. Again, it's just a multiple choice. Anyway, what I wanted to do is I want to show you how to go about creating this in your Blackboard. So what you do is you go down to your customization, down to tool availability, and you scroll down and make sure at the bottom where it says Studymate Class that is checked off. If that is checked off, then it will show up in your content area. So from that being created, we now go into the section that we want to have this located. And as you can see, I've created one here, but I'll show you how to create one from scratch. You go to Tools, down to Studymate Class. It will be showing now. You give it a title. Now in section 2 you have 2 options. Either you can make it available for all students to go through and complete this, and they can edit each other's, or they can add, or you make it personal where it's individualized to each student. So it's a teacher's preference here. Most people go with the first one, which is the standard. And editing rights, what some teachers are enjoying is that everyone in the course can edit each other, so they can go through and they can help collaborate and they can help edit as maybe a team that's contributing to the entire class. And once edited by instructor, don't allow further editing. Again, it's a teacher preference. Many people leave that blank so that students can continue to go in there. Okay, so after you choose which preferences you want, you submit it. And it will now show up at the bottom of your listing after you click OK here. And you notice it shows up here. I'm going to show you one that's already been created. And what you'll notice is when you go into it, in the edit mode, you can create a fact. You give a title, enter the fact. You can do a term, and a term you give the term or answer, and then you give the definition or a question. And then you have your third section, which is your multiple choice. So what's nice about all of this is that as you see below, it shows what is the title of the item that a student created, where does it lie, what type, who actually authored it, and what item wording was in there. You can also use this where you can preview it, you can edit, or you can delete it. And this is available to all students the way I have this set up. So that's your edit mode. If you go into settings, in settings you have, again, where you can allow editing, you can randomize items. What I wanted to really get your attention to is 2 things. One is grading. You can enable grading. You give it a grade column, and this will go directly into Blackboard, and you can give the points that you want to assign to them. You can even give information about the project itself here, and it will show up when the students click on that Studymate. The second big thing that I wanted you to see is that studymate.com, you can also generate, as you see here, you can generate a URL that doesn't necessarily require students to be in Blackboard, so they could actually use this from a mobile device if they wanted to. As long as you gave them the URL, they could input that, and they would be able to see it the way it would show, as we saw here. It would show up like this, and it would have the title of your course. Right? So coming back to here, after we do all of these, and you have to agree before you can make activities available. You have to make sure you click on agree. So if you don't click on this, you notice you can't select make activities. So you have to agree to the terms and make sure you read through them, and then select activities, and you can sync it now, and you can auto sync it, which is nice because anytime you make changes, it will automatically update that URL. Once you're complete with this, you can save changes, and it goes back to here. I'm going to take that off. And again, when you go into grading, then you can allow for grading. Because I did not check it off, right now I can't give a grade, but it would be open for me to grade if I did. But it's nice that I can see the activities they viewed, or how many activities they viewed, how many items they added, and if they edited anything for this particular Studymate session. Okay, so those are the items that I wanted to show you. Hopefully you folks would take advantage of this for the next 90 days. If you have any questions, please contact Tim Freitas or your ITS person to assist you with this. If you need more information, please make sure you go to this respondus.com and Studymate. They have demo movies, they have webinars, guides, and I'm also going to include a handout for you, for those of you that want a handout to read along and follow. Okay, thank you.